The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Have you ever worried that you might be the cool kid? You wear the latest fashions on top of all the trends? Or have you ever worried you were too much in the mainstream? Always so generic, more normal than your friends? Well, we've devised a test to put to rest your fears. There's no need to panic if you lend us your ears. Tonight you can sleep easy after all that you've heard. Cause if you like the show, then you're probably a nerd. Oh, Canon, it's Canon, it's all it's Canon with Tyler, Phil, and Boris. Oh, Canon, it's Canon, it's all in Canon.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the It's Canon podcast, the podcast where we talk about all things geek fandom, all things comics, all things toys, all things Lego, all things everything. And the best part of it all is that it is all in canon. We are your hosts. I'm Boris, and this week we have Phil.
Hey everybody, it's good to be back. I'm finally getting back into the groove.
Right? That groove is a good
for
groove.
The ride.
Exactly. Long for the ride, long for the groove, and so much more. And our official third member of the crew, my nephew. You can hear him in the Uncle and Nephew Geek Out Show here on A Plus Productions. He is Alex. Alex, how is life going?
It's going great. I've been busy with all sorts of schoolwork. School's been keeping me busy, but I've been still finding time to play the games I've been playing.
Like we talked about last week, right? Sometimes when you're the busiest is when you get to do like those small things. I've always found, especially at school or when I'm really busy at work, like, you know, between meetings, if I have half an hour, jump into something, right? Something just so I can distract myself. It's a huge distraction. It's a fun distraction. And that's kind of what I found. Kind of keeps me sane. You know, as Phil and I used to always call it, geek therapy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It definitely helps you clear the brain, and somehow that exactly to your point helps you focus on work or school or whatever the next task is, because it cleans the state.
Exactly. We have a lot to talk about this week. We're going to be talking about Valve and the future of gaming. We're going to be talking about the game industry. We're going to be talking about the Game Awards. We're going to continue the conversation about the Game Awards, gets Phil's reaction on some of the categories and whatnot. And then this week is Thanksgiving for our American listeners, and happy Thanksgiving, except for Todd from Tennessee. You can still eat yourself alive. But yeah, huge Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American listeners. That means that we're just days away from the most chaotic shopping season of the year that kicks off on Black Friday. And as you know, we love spending money here on the It's Canon podcast. We're going to be talking about that as well. Yeah, so Phil, we're going to start with you. What is going on in the life of Phil?
You know what? Just recovering from the Black Friday that started last Friday. I don't even know when the days are anymore with the American Thanksgiving. It just feels like the Canadian retailers are all just going nuts, and, you know, Amazon. I don't know. I've managed to sink a boatload of cash into stuff I don't need. It really is sad. But it's like, hey, I've got one speaker by Soundcore that I paid $160 for. Oh, they're on sale for $99. I'll get two and have stereo sound. If that's not the stupidest, most geeky thing, so I can have stereo sound outside, I don't know what is. But that's what's been happening for me. And actually, I diverged from buying only Lego to buying my first competitor to Lego set. And
yes, let us talk about that. I have seen a lot of these sets on TikTok, on social media. We've never had this conversation, because like I say, we typically talk the most when we're recording this show. So, there are a lot of these different companies that are creating these Lego-like sets that are very much compatible with Lego. So, Phil, talk to us about this.
Well, the company right now has a very unfortunate name. They're in the process of changing their name, but unfortunately, or I don't know, maybe it's a collector in me, I got it with their old name. And their old name is called Funhole, which is not the ideal name that you want for a
No.
children's toy.
That is the ideal name. Not for children's toys, but for other toys.
For other toys, exactly. So this thing's called Funhole. They're changing their name to Lumi Bricks, I believe. And basically the shtick with this is if you have Lego and you try to put one of those adapter third-party lighting kits in it, you're pinching wires and routing wires between bricks that aren't meant to house wires. With Funhole, what they do is they've got a modular building, and this is a record store that I bought. It's a modular building that's compatible with Lego and scaled the same as Lego plates and everything like that. And it's got certain bricks that are hollowed out. So that wiring, it includes all of the wiring. So the entire thing is lit up off of a USB-C power bank or through a power bar that you just plug into. And basically each level of the floor has contacts to pass the electrical current through. And you can take it all apart the same as regular Lego, go inside of it, split it open, pull the floors right out, put your characters wherever you want to put them. And my idea has always been, I have a few sets of the Muppets CMF, the custom minifigs run of the Muppets. So I wanted a place for the Muppets to exist. And that's why I bought the record store, because I figured that's a very Muppet friendly environment. And it's got lots of billboards and signs. And the other great thing about it is there's no stickers. They're all prints. So they are absolutely eating Lego's lunch because Lego puts stickers in everything now.
Yeah, and that's actually what I wanted to talk to you about because, okay, number one, something that I've noticed about these, and then you tell me your impression, is that they're almost like better tech-wise and easier and more friendly tech-wise. The price point is better. They're more compatible. It's like, dare I say, they're doing a better job than Lego at making Lego?
They are. The amazing thing was I waited for Black Friday sales to go on. It was 20% off. And for this set, it's got 1,980 pieces. So it's a sizable set. And I picked it up for 150 Canadian. The minimum set that you can get from Lego that would fall into that category would be 300 Canadian. And it does not have lights.
Damn.
And they're cutting back on minifigs. They're doing a lot of weird stuff. Now, I say all this kind of j'accuse Lego, but I will say that Lego's new upcoming January 1st line, they have a Speed Champion set of the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And it includes both main characters, the Doc and the Kid, for 25 American dollars. So Lego are starting, like, they got their asses, I think, kicked this year because they released so many sets that cut corners. They either fell apart when you picked them up or they lacked minifig selection. Like, don't even get me started on that Death Star. $1,000, and they couldn't afford to put dual molded legs. It's just absolutely hilarious, some of the corners that they're cutting with some of these high-end sets. And people are boycotting Lego due to this. Like, Lego fans are saying, no, we've had enough. And they have a $45 battle pack. Like, that's insane. $50 for a battle pack.
I'm finding that a lot of hobbyists are saying F you to some of these companies, right? Like, look at Funko Pops and Funko in general. We knew that this bubble, they were the Beanie Babies of, like, this generation at the end of the day, right? And we're seeing that company fall apart, like, just in front of our own eyes. It is crazy to see. It's sad to see. And let's be honest, that there are tariffs and other things that are just making that company drop and fall a lot faster than they really should be, and it's really sad to see that. But like, you know, we've seen Lego get their ass kicked this year. A lot of hobbyists and hobby enthusiasts and stuff like, you know, I wonder, like, people like your brother, right, who collects, and I'm talking to you, Phil, who collects the airplanes and the airplane models. Like, how's are the prices being affected? Have you talked to him about that?
The interesting part about that market is it's slow to react in a lot of ways because they sit on old stock. But I don't know what it's like on the new stock. You know what I mean? Like, especially some of the stuff that he's into. He's getting sets that are from the 60s, and like they've appreciated in value, but they're not being shipped around that much. And I think, though, that the companies that do deal in distribution are getting worried because the supply is drying up and the back stock just isn't there, right? Because Lego are getting hit with tariffs, but Canadian Lego is all from Europe. But the thing is that I think it routes through the States.
That's so not only that, but to keep the prices almost on par, they're going to raise our prices for no reason.
Yeah, and we do get the better deal, even though we pay more. The dollar, it doesn't translate one to one, so we do benefit quite a bit. And I'll never say bad words about Lego. I think that they try really hard, but they just got their pricing strategy wrong for this past two waves, and the selection is duplicating a lot of sets that have already been there. And they've been burned on this before with the sequel movies, the Star Wars sequels, like the last three. They overproduced and they got burned. Like the Rogue One line was a dog for them. It didn't sell. I bought all the sets and now they're in super high demand because of Andor. So some of the minifigures that people slept on are now fetching like into the $50 to $100 range American. It's a really weird, volatile market where people are really fickle. I notice when sets are getting dogged on, and I usually pick up a couple because I know that eventually people are going to react and go, "Oh, I wish I would have picked it up." So my number one conquest is the TIE Fighter pilot. I picked up directly from Lego for $69. It sells regularly right now for about $800 American. So
that's not bad.
That's like a little mini gold mine, but those are very rare. It's a very tough speculative market if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Alex, how are the prices out in the West Coast?
It's not much better. It's roughly the same.
Yeah.
We have quite a few malls here that have like Lego stores in them, so they seem to be quite popular because I remember there not being that many when I was in Ontario. But no, like Lego's really hard because sometimes I'll find a set that's like, oh, you know, that's pretty good. I think, at least for me, that's decent. And then other times I see a set that I was excited for, and then I see the price and it completely turns me off. Like one of them recently was they had Legend of Zelda Lego sets, like Link, Princess Zelda, and a Deku Tree, and you could choose between it being the Breath of the Wild Deku Tree or Ocarina of Time, and it came with both Links and Zeldas, and it was like over $300.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no way. There's no way.
There is a trick I will let you in on, and that is, well, with those big sets, they never go down really significantly. The best you're ever going to get is about 15% off. But with the smaller sets, they come in at $69, $79, $89, $110. You just wait 3 months and they will go down on Amazon. Like I can pick up sets that were $28 a week ago or 2 weeks ago and pick them up right now for $18. Like these are fairly substantial when it comes down to your savings, right? And I'm like, Lego doesn't like to do more than 20% off, but Amazon, when push comes to shove, will drop 30 to 40% on a given sale. So that's my consumer tip of the day for Lego buying is you have to hawk the market and know your price points. And then you can manipulate Lego. The worst actors in the Lego market are places like they still exist here in Canada, Toys R Us, who puts on a Toys R Us tax of $10 on every set.
Yeah.
So whatever Lego charges, they're $10 over. It's ridiculous.
Toys R Us is, funny enough, one of the worst places to actually get toys because it's always more expensive from there.
Yep. Always. I caved in one year and I bought the dark saber, the full
I
on
remember that.
dark saber, and I went to Toys R Us, peak pandemic, right? And here I am. I've been locked in a room for over a year, and I'm like, I'm going to treat myself. So I bought this thing for $500. I bought it, and I said, I'll pick it up in store. I went to the store, and they said, we're going to have to refund you, sir. And I was just like, why? I want the sword. I'm a grown man who wants a toy sword. And they go, somebody stole it. So they gave him my money back, and then I went on Amazon. It was $50 cheaper, so I bought it there.
That's funny. And then we wonder why Toys R Us went extinct in the US of A.
Yeah, the one in town is closing, so I think that's not a good
Oh,
sign.
really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Where is Hayden Christensen going to buy his toys?
Oh, I know. I'm sure he's got a place out on the West Coast. So, yeah, he was no stranger to that store. That's for sure.
Yep. Just walking around signing all the Darth Vader toys. Walking out.
The one guy was
what's
so
funny?
happy.
I know.
He got his helmet
I know.
signed.
That's so funny. I know authors who do that. They'll walk into chapters, sign books, and then just leave. And then people pick them up and they're like, is this like, what the fuck? Like, so more often than not, they're like, this isn't real.
Yeah. Oh, one of my most now shameful assigned books is a Neil Gaiman book that I have autographed by him. And I'm like, damn.
Does it say, give me your number?
I was going to go to college. I was going to send my kid to college on that book, but nope, not anymore. You're going to jail here.
There we go. There we go. Well, that's very interesting. There we go. Some tips for Lego and Lego buying. Alex, what is going on with you?
Not much, to be honest. I've been playing a couple games here and there. I've been mostly playing Ghost of Yote. I now have almost 30 hours in that game now. Still not much of the story is done because I keep getting distracted by these damned yellow birds. I've gone now to like 4 areas. I'm in the 4th one right now, and it's only for the second main story quest. And I've completed all the previous areas, like 100% done. And I just keep doing that. I can't progress the story until I'm done the area that I'm in. It's really bad.
No,
But
I
I'm
know.
doing
That's
fine.
how I was with the first one. I can't wait to play the second one. Hopefully you can finish that game in time for your grandma and aunt to bring it back to me. And I give you, what was it, last Death Stranding 2?
Yep. And do a little trade.
That'll save us some time.
Now,
Yeah.
Boris, just so you know,
Yeah.
I checked out the other night because I saw that Black Friday Amazon sale. They were blowing out PS5s.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You know what I saw on the PlayStation? The Ghost of Yotai PS5 and the PS5 Ghost of Yotai controller for 550 Canadian dollars off of $769.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
The problem
baby.
is-
I was like, woo-hoo-hoo. It's got all the pretty
The problem is, I like that with the Spider-Man Special Edition. I made about $400 on those, if you recall.
I remember you picking them up.
There I am being like a trader as we record.
Yeah, that's right. You bought them online.
Yeah, like literally the way I bought my PS5. Like, hey, this is the PS5 release day, and as a joke, I'm like, let's see if I can still get one. Boom, lo and behold.
Yep.
I made many purchases while recording this show over the years. It's actually hilarious. But yeah, no, that's very cool. So you're doing that. Yeah, I know that you're busy, but your semester's almost done, which is awesome, right? Do you know when your last day is, Alex?
It's December the 12th. So I'll have a little bit of free time, on that last week before my brother gets out of school. And so I'll have a little bit of free time to myself. But yeah, I'm probably going to be busy the next little bit. It's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah. And unfortunately, good for morale, shitty for geeking out. you're gonna be spending it with your grandma and your aunt. So and they're there for a long time. So kind of like it's yay, but you're not gonna get the time to geek out.
No, I need to fight. Like, I don't know who I need to, brawl with, but I need to secure my spot in the basement bed, because at least that way I'll be able to get in a few hours a night.
Yeah, just tell my sister, hey, your back will be better in this bed. You're fine.
On the floor. It's
I'll sleep in
fine.
the
It's
cold
comfy.
basement. Are there a lot of stairs? How much stairs is it to get to the basement? That's your out.
Ooh, it's another big flight of stairs.
There
And
you
where's
go.
the
There you
closest
go.
washroom?
Bad back, old lady. Boom.
Where's the closest washroom? Come on now, you got to map it out.
That's the other one. That's the other one.
Yeah.
See, we're giving you all the tips. We're giving you all the tips so that
Like,
you can play
can try-
until your heart's content.
You can do the reverse psychology. Try to sell the basement so that you'll get it and be like, hey, if you got to go potty at night, you can pee in the wash bin. Right? Like, that's
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
feature. And then they'll go, no goddamn way. That's disgusting. Oh, well, you can sleep up there.
The reality is, though, like, I bet you if you just talk to your dad and my brother, you'll be like, hey, I want to play. We can watch TV. We can play video games at night, right? And you know that he's going to probably want that too.
Yeah, he probably will. Worst comes to worst,
Yeah.
I will literally agree to sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
Anything.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a thing, right? It's very rare that you have like time off. Speaking of time off, you're still planning to come here for spring break, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So the reason why I say that is, gentlemen, Philip, Alexander, I think I am going to buy a rig,
A what?
a gaming rig.
Oh.
I think it is time to upgrade my 5-year-old Alienware computer and other stuff, and just finally get a desktop.
If you want any tips, I'm right here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think, and I think we're gonna go shopping, and I think because you know me, been there, done that. I don't want to do that again. You can build it for me. That's why I'm telling you. That was the question of why if you're coming.
It's like when I would build your Legos for you.
Yeah,
All
this
those
time
sets-
it's a different type of Lego. Actually,
All
I have
those
another
sets in the
Lego that you can
background.
build.
All those sets in the background I built.
I have a couple waiting for you. So
Oh.
Yeah.
and my
Oh,
may
computer.
Point out in the background the Star Wars
Yes.
logo.
I want that.
That's beautiful.
That's the biggest pain in the ass to build. I can attest to that. I am scared to death of that set because every time I touch it, something falls off of it. It is not well put together, but that is normally $79.99. Right now, it's $55 on Amazon.
Phil, I remember a few years ago in one of these It's Canon episodes, you said that you had like a large Baby Yoda Lego set that you said was a complete pain.
Yes.
I have that. It's like half built, and I'm dreading having to build it again.
I hated trying to figure out all the different shades of brown. It was like the worst. And even I'm putting together right now the little holiday Millennium Falcon vignette that they have. And literally in one picture, it says get 2 parts, these 2 parts. I'm like pretty good at sorting Lego at this point. And I'm like, there's my 2 parts. And then I look at the picture and there's like 17 other fucking parts. Like, I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm like, the set's half built after one step and they didn't break it down. Like, did I miss a page? Like, going back and forth. And then I had to freeball it because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to checker the floor. Oh, it was brutal. But like sometimes Lego's instructions are absolutely atrocious. The instructions were good on Star Wars. It's the snot technique. The stud's not on top. That made it an absolute brittle nightmare. And I posted that online on my Instagram account, and one guy responded and he goes, mine's laying in 2 pieces, broken. It fell off the shelf.
That's horrible.
Oh, yeah. I had the great Lego crash of 2019. I may have knocked some Lego onto the ground, and Kylo Ren's ship did not survive. Neither did the Knights of Ren.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. But yeah, so that's my plan.
Oh, I just
That's
want
my
to
plan
mention
for yeah.
anyone who's interested in building a computer. Unless you're buying one that's already built, like you want to go to Best Buy and you just pick out one that's already built, I would wait. Because have you seen or have you guys heard about the RAM shortage?
Look, okay. Can I please show you this? This is actually hilarious that you're even saying this because look at what I have. This was literally going to be our next topic. It is actually hilarious. The timing of this. How does one do this now? Okay, here we go. It's been a while. Boom.
Yeah. So
Yep.
right off the bat, let me just say, in my computer, I have a Corsair Vengeance 32 gigabyte kit of RAM, and it's got like the RGB strip on top. So I bought it in a bundle, but if you were to buy it brand new in Canadian dollars, it would be around 132, roughly.
Not bad.
Okay. I looked at that kit on Amazon, which is, that was the Amazon price, 132. It is like $500.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in this article released today, the person here was saying that they bought 3 months ago yesterday. I bought 32 gigabytes of memory for my gaming PC, and the price of that exact kit has more than tripled since then. It now costs $300 more, $440 versus $130. In case you're curious, a more common version of the same kit went from $105 to $400. Some prices have doubled since October, and while you can still find some 32 gigabyte kits for as low as $230, a 64 gigabyte DDR5 kit can easily run you $700, $800, even $900.
Here's the crazy bit. A year ago, I bought a mini PC, Alex. So this thing is a little bit bigger than a hockey puck, and it's running an AMD Ryzen 9 chip. So it's like a laptop chip, but it's got DDR5 RAM in it, and I've got 32 gigs and a 1 terabyte SSD. And I paid $390 for it off of Amazon last year.
Remember, like a few years ago, where they would almost give you RAM for free?
I know. I bought the most coked out, rammed up one I could buy.
If you go to a store like Canada Computers, they have like CPU, motherboard, and RAM bundles where they bundle those three items together. The RAM was pretty much free. Like, so my CPU and the motherboard I got, the price of the two combined was the price of the unit. They basically gave me the RAM sticks for free.
Now, here's where old man Phil comes in. I used
Oh,
to
here
be
we
the assistant manager at a computer store. All right. And back in the day, these are the 486 Pentium days. All right. Back in the day, most computers only had 8 gigabytes of RAM. All right. Most computers had 4 megabytes of RAM.
Megs.
Megabytes.
Megs. So my first computer,
megabytes.
aka your brother's first computer, aka the family computer, it was a 46 running 4 megabytes of RAM, and I believe a 32 meg hard drive.
Yeah. And here's the deal, right? I'd come in and I'd have full access to our pricing structures. And I'd look at my boss and I said, what's our best selling product right now? I know the answer, but I was testing him and he goes, it's RAM. Everybody wanted a RAM upgrade. Everybody wanted to go from 4 to 8. We couldn't keep 8 megabyte sticks in stock. All right. And we were selling them at $250 a crack. All right. And we had 16 megabyte SIMs in back that cost less than what we'd have to sell them for $500, but we were buying them for $200. So my boss said to me, he goes, give me your 2 8s that I know you have, and I'll give you 2 16s, a straight up trade, because we're moving this stuff so fast. And that was the deal. So then I had like this monster Mongo 32 megabyte machine that nobody could comprehend, but that was my big flex. because I was the same as you. I built all my PCs and went through the fret of which pin goes into that special socket. Oh God.
Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, RAM. I just do you guys know why RAM is so expensive right now? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
AI.
Yep. All these tech companies wanting to build these mega computers. It's the same reason why graphics cards are not that hard to come across unless it's a 5090, in which case they are, because the 5090 has some extra special something that helps with AI computation. So they're going like hotcakes.
Is it also like Bitcoin mining and stuff?
Maybe, but that's kind of died off. I think it's specifically AI. Like they just want to build so many computers to train all these models, and it's inflating the price of certain things, which is funny because RAM is the only thing that's really affected, because graphics cards are actually cheaper now than they were earlier this year.
Good to know. Now, I have a question. I took a training thing. Have either of you used AI?
Yeah, I'm the AI specialist at work.
Oh my!
I'm a student, so yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I got exposed to it, and my takeaway was it was more work to work with AI than just doing the work.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Watch it so much, like you have to build the model, and then you have to trust the model. Then
Not only that, but what I tell my customers, not to get too deep into things, is garbage in, garbage out. So I throw the cautions. Hey, before you start training this large language model, this LLM, you need to ensure that you are ready. The problem right now is that a lot of executives see AI and they use public AI and they think that it's going to work like that for the enterprise systems, right? Not thinking that, hey, we need an enterprise API key and an enterprise version of this LLM because of security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And then it's the whole garbage in, garbage out thing. And they're not wrapping their head around this. And so I have some customers where I know that they're not ready. They're whatever they want to put into that AI is not going to give them the results that they want. And in fact, my business unit partners are going to fail in front of their execs if they continue this game.
It's kind of funny.
I don't know too much about the process of building an AI. I have not sunk my teeth in that far in terms of the tech side of it, but just from a use case, it's definitely useful, but like with an asterisk. Like it can be, and at my internship, I learned that my manager at the time was really big into use it as a tool, but double check it. Like actually make sure you're basically becoming a manager.
Here's what I say. Use it as an assistant. Don't use it as a replacement.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for example, at this internship, I was doing a lot of coding, and I was doing this specific project, and I was having trouble with it. In my head, everything was worked out. I typed it all out, put it in the project, and it just wasn't working. It was running into all of these errors, or it wasn't spitting out the result that I needed to. And I was stuck. I was looking at this for an hour. And in Visual Studio Code, I just see the little Copilot thing popping up. Like it's like bouncing. It's like, use me. So I click on it. It's like, okay, this is the error that it's giving me. Where is it happening? Why is it happening? And it was able to point it out so quickly where it was. And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. And I was able to fix it. But in a case like that, that was incredibly helpful. I probably could have spent another 2 hours looking at it, and it wouldn't have solved it, just because I was missing something really small, and it was able to catch it really quickly. But I still did the meat of the work. It kind of helped me cross the finish line. And I think in that case, AI is really cool. When it's not cool is when it just like completely does the work for you, and people assume, oh, it's probably right. And that's not true, because I've seen that happen with a lot of people I know at my school. They, a lot of these people, they don't like to code, so they have the AI do it, but it's janky. It doesn't really work properly, and they didn't check it properly, because on the surface it does.
We could just look at Black Flop 7. if we want to talk about janky AI garbage, hey, here's a video game living proof that, hey, let's cut this corner. No one will care.
It's crazy. I hate everything that's going on with Black Ops 7 so much that I almost want to buy Battlefield 6 just to spite Activision.
Oh, I
I
know.
think a lot of people are doing that.
I went and I looked at it in Game Pass, Alex, and it was 250 gigabytes of download. And I'm like, no way. I downloaded last year's and it was 140. And I'm like, no, get it off my machine right now.
The thing is that's crazy is that I've liked some of their some of them have been bad, but a lot of the more recent Call of Duties have been decent for me. Like I like their multiplayer, I like their campaigns. Like I liked the two most recent Modern Warfare games, Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I heard terrible things about 3, so I haven't even touched it. And I also liked Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah.
So it's really disappointing to see it like absolutely like just in the shitter. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, I think the bodies will be exhumed at some point, but it got so bad that this week they canceled having to do to get to the PvE stuff. You don't have to do the campaign anymore. Like the game is so bad they're letting you opt out of playing the game. Like that. That's hilarious.
Just the simple fact that the campaign is a co-op campaign. You can't pause the game at any point because it's technically a multiplayer game
Online. Yeah.
And all the missions are just reused Warzone maps. Like, what went wrong?
And
actually, this is exactly like Modern Warfare 3, which everyone collectively agreed that it was like the worst COD campaign up until that point. Worse than games like Ghost, because at least Ghost was a proper campaign. It was just bad.
Yeah, well, and don't forget your little shop of horror plants and your giant dudes that try to crush you.
It's like those fights look like the if you've ever played Batman Arkham Asylum, like the Scarecrow boss fights, like that's what that looks like. Like, what is that doing in Call of Duty?
It feels like something out of a Saints Row game. Like, honestly,
that's the reboot.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just like, I'll never forget playing Saints Row with my friend and getting into a giant dildo fight. And I'm like, really? This is what gaming is right now. This is a pinnacle of society. But yeah, it's just ironic because there's so much AI in Black Ops 7 that they're getting called out on. And then you have Arc Raiders doing so well that openly used AI, right? They just said, we're just going to use AI because we're challenged in our development cycles. And it's a useful tool when we're using it, and we're going to disclose it that we used it. But
I think with Arc Raiders, it's a little bit more justifiable because it was very clear in all of the actors' contracts that this was what it's going to be used for. You know, they even paid them extra because they knew that they'll probably use those new lines for DLC or updates down the line. And so they came in to the job knowing that that's what it's for and being paid accordingly.
Yeah.
And
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Like if you're going to use it, as much as people, can say they don't want to use it at all, this is better than, worst case scenario, they just take their voice and that's it.
Yeah. And that's the dangerous part in the corporate world. Like it's video games, anything. If you get caught right now in engaging too heavily in AI, people revolt. Like people start to divest interest in your product or company. Like Lego got caught last year because they put this kid playing with whatever in a picture shoot, playing with Lego. And in the background, there was half of a skateboard, like one truck, and the board just stopped. And people instantly knew that's AI. It's just like Elon Musk with 6 fingers. There's something weird about this. He has 2 left feet. The pictures always have this giveaway. And here was this thing. And then Lego scrubbed the image and made this promise and this commitment that was half-assed that said, we're never going to use AI again. They're going to, but we're going to do better.
Do a better job of hiding it.
Yeah. And I've got a friend who does photo shoots commercially. And he's just like, in a way, I can't blame them because they probably saved about 17 grand. Because if I would have taken that photo and for real the bill would have been certain price because of that treatment that light that the room needed. And he goes, it would have been like a $17,000 photo expense, whereas they got some intern to do it with AI.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
think
weird
it's
space.
interesting. I think it's interesting because I think there are ethical uses of AI, but because it all gets attacked the same, I wonder if the reaction is either going to be for companies to just eliminate AI, which is probably not going to happen. What's most likely to happen is if they get in trouble for using AI anyway, then they're just going to do it unethically.
Yeah.
That's why I
my
worry
feeling.
about all this Arc Raiders controversy, because if they're getting in trouble for doing it the best way they can and making sure that it's fair for the actors, they get compensated properly. If they get in trouble for that and it's seen as the same as like Activision with Black Ops 7, then most companies are just going to pull a Call of Duty and do it that way, where it's completely unethical. It's everywhere. It actually affects the final like quality of the product, and we're probably going to see a lot more of that kind of implementation.
Yeah. Well, I think, to be fair, nobody's really dumping on Arc Raiders. I think everyone's just putting that note like, hey, they used AI and they didn't try to get away with it. They tried to embrace it as best as they could. That's the feeling that I'm getting out on the internet right now. And the backlash against Black Ops 7 is that it was kind of underhandedly snuck in there and very visible in how they develop the levels and what the gaming experience is in the campaign, that it just feels like AI slop. I don't know for sure that they're going to come out and say that it is, but we know the artwork is and stuff like that. And they've been guilty. Like last year, they had a 6-fingered zombie in the Christmas ad. Like they've been using this stuff for a while now and dabbling in it. It's just really repulsive with how much money that game farms, and they're cutting corners like that.
I mean, I think Activision came out and said that they were using AI tools in the future to help with development costs. And it's to the point where we know that they are really trying to enforce it. And studios that can't implement AI are going to see budget cuts, possibly even layoffs, because their strategy moving forward is using AI to speed up the development time, reduce development costs, and just, spend less money actually paying people.
Crazy.
And the reality is, right? And let's this we can even segue into Rockstar Games and Ubisoft, and as these union disruptions and union and workforce issues rise, guess what? AI tools are going to take over a lot quicker, so that people don't have a leg to stand on almost.
Well, I know that Rockstar came out with a statement that said AI can't do the complexities of what they're pulling off with GTA 6. But I'm like, just hold my beer. I'm pretty sure you're going to find a way when money's starting to change hands. But Ubisoft, I think, are a prime example of a company that would probably stoop to that, because they're in such bad financial situation with their debt and repayment and everything like that. Like, this 10-cent money is coming at a Hail Mary time, because they even put off disclosing their financials for a week because they couldn't figure out how to resolve their debt.
But headlines like this is the beginning of it. 4 hours ago, Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser is using AI, but cautions, and I quote, "It's not as useful as some companies would have you believe yet."
Yeah.
Didn't Dan Houser leave Rockstar quite a while ago?
Yeah, he did. But I'm just saying, like, this is, it's all about the mantra. This is the mantra that they give it. It's happening, man. It's happening.
We have to remember that Rockstar is still owned by Take-Two, and Take-Two are like the greediest corporation. Like, they're on the level of EA.
Yeah,
like they really are on that level with their, I believe they own 2K with their NBA games.
Well,
like they're
the NBA games are a travesty.
Yeah, like they're they are definitely not absolved of any sin or whatever. Like they definitely have some very serious faults, and I think Rockstar almost gets this kind of this pass with a lot of the stuff they do, which is honestly no other studio could get away with some of the stuff that Rockstar does. But that's an aside.
Mhm.
I also think that the Gearbox is owned by 2K, right?
Yep.
And they
Yep.
get away with a lot in Borderlands 4 and Borderlands series. Like they really I know it's softening more than it's going a hardcore route of like Borderlands 1 and 2, but I could still put in Borderlands 1 and 2 and I'm like, how is this even allowed in a video game? Like it's absurdly fun.
Well, I don't know about the other stuff in Borderlands 4, but I just know that the main controversy with that game was its performance. Like to the point where they had to completely indefinitely delay their Switch 2 port because of how
Yeah.
bad the performance is.
It's great on console. I can say that. It's actually been the funniest part of it all is that it's been the first successful proper cross-platform integration that I've seen in a game. And you see PlayStation players in it. You know, like your avatar above your head has your name and what system you're playing on. Like if you're on Steam, if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, it's got a little X or a PS5 type thing. So it really is an interesting little sandbox.
What about Fortnite? I think Fortnite is the
Yep.
most successful and the best implemented overall.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have created a Fortnite account. And I do
There
have
we
the
go.
Darth Vader samurai skin.
Fortnite is unfortunately the multiplayer game that I've spent the most time playing because it's something that both my brother play and something my dad plays a lot. Like I think
Oh, there
he
you
has more time in that game than me.
He has I think he plays it the most out of the three of you.
Yep.
That's scary.
When I was playing mostly on the PlayStation, I gave him my my school laptop and he would play it off that. And now he does it off of the Switch OLED. So he has a ton of hours in that game. But no,
That's funny.
I just wanted to say really quickly, Borderlands 4 in terms of performance is definitely best on console, but that's only because it's doing some buffoonery in the
Yeah.
background where the game is rendered at like 720p and upscaled using PSSR, which is their like AI upscaling method.
Yeah, they're yeah.
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 Because the real problem is that the amount of VRAM that game uses on higher resolutions, and even on like a 5090, the most powerful graphics card you can own right now, like consumer grade, at 4K, it's like 40 frames per second.
Oof.
Yeah. So imagine spending $2,500 on a graphics card to get 40 frames.
I will take my $500
Yeah.
Xbox, Alex.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? At that point.
That's what
And
scares
Alex,
me
once
about
again,
PC
you
gaming.
set up a Exactly. And Alex and Phil, you guys have once again set up a perfect segue into our next topic, which is the Valve gaming console, this super gaming rig. This, I don't know, what would you describe it as, Alex?
This is advertised as bringing a console-like experience to PC in a similar way that their Steam Deck did.
Which, for the record, Phil, we talked about this years ago that this was eventually going to happen.
Yep. What's happening? Xbox are
Just saying.
driving it. Valve are catching wind and reacting and pivoting. In the
And
marketplace.
Google is just saying, fuck, we should have stayed in the game a little longer.
Yep. Google are eating it right now, but Stadia was way ahead of its time. But
it's
hey,
not
they
a streaming
refunded all my games. Pardon me?
But it's not a streaming box. It's like an actual fully
Yeah, it's
fledged.
an actual.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's a
so
PC. And they've come out and they made a statement, right? Because they took a walloping on the Steam Deck and whatnot because they decided to subsidize those platforms in order to get people into their ecosystem. Whereas now they're saying we're not subsidizing this new thing. Now they haven't released pricing, but the new speculation is it's probably going to be anywhere between 800 USD and 1,000. So they said that you can expect it to be priced comparably to an equal PC. So this is the same strategy that Xbox are going with as well, right? Screw subsidizing it and taking the loss, and let's just sell a PC. And there's nothing stopping if I go and I buy the Valve Magic Box and I wipe it and put Xbox and Windows on it. There's nothing stopping me from doing that, right? It's a PC.
And you know, people are going to be like using like that. Like they're going to be getting that and modding it to the insane amounts to the point where there's going to be a lockdown put on moving forward.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I think Valve are just basically going for it in the sense that they don't want to undercut the price, because it is a PC. So imagine an enterprise company sitting there and going, we need 10,000 PCs. Well, let's order these Valve gaming systems, reformat them, and get these things in at half the price of of any of our suppliers, and just put these on everybody's desk. And I think Valve are like, they know that that's the risk, so they're not going to price to get people into the ecosystem, knowing that they have the freedom to, at any point in time, they have got the keys to the car. They can do whatever they want to it. It's an interesting position that they're in, because Valve are still a private company, right? So they're one owner, one vision.
The one advantage someone like Valve has over Xbox, though, is the price of games.
Yeah.
Steam games, by and large, are way cheaper than their console equivalent. They go on sale way more often. They have several large sale events where you can buy some pretty big games for 75% off, 50% off. And so you end up saving money in the long run, especially if you're someone who buys games pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
The other advantage over someone like PlayStation is that Valve has a library that dates back pretty far. You know, they have games from the 90s that are, they don't have to be a port. They're just the same version they were then, and you can purchase them on their storefront, no problem. And those games, especially games like, their Half-Life, Portal, those regularly go on sale for like $2, $5. Like you can buy them for super cheap. Like,
and they're good games.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's really interesting, but I think it's interesting from the fact that I think it's the first time that a company like this is really trying to compete with console manufacturers in terms of saying, PC doesn't have to be this crazy expensive hobby. You can buy this machine, hook it up to your TV, and you don't have to deal with any of the hassle that comes from or that's associated with PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think it's interesting from the fact that SteamOS, the big deal about SteamOS is that it's Linux based, which means it just takes up less resources on a machine. It's the reason the Steam Deck is able to get away with being a fairly weak machine, because even if you compare it to the ROG Ally X, not the Xbox One, which is like the souped up version, the original Ally X, there were a lot of games that just performed better on the Steam Deck just because it wasn't running Windows.
Yeah.
Even if it had less RAM, even though its processor was slightly weaker, it was just running better because it didn't have to deal with Windows. And I think that's a big deal and a big blow to Microsoft. They put in all this effort for Xbox and their full screen experience and the Xbox app on Windows handhelds, and there are still some games that perform better on the Steam Deck.
Yeah. So
I think that's why Xbox are pivoting more towards a streaming solution.
Yes.
Right. They're heading towards this non-centralized, decentralized CPU experience where everybody's playing an Xbox X. Right.
Yes. But
remotely.
At the same time, Xbox has said that their next generation of Xbox and the future of Xbox is Windows 11.
Oh God.
Which is like, considering that they made that announcement, and then a few days after they said that they were increasing Copilot's capabilities and having it be always opened. And it's like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
Resource hog. Here's the thing, right? Okay, so Valve is going to have a PC type console. Xbox, they've talked about this, and I kind of think that they're in the middle. They're thinking of cloud gaming, but I also think that they have the capabilities to do this PC gaming console like thing. We'll see what they end up doing. Where does this leave? Nintendo does their own thing, so I don't even want to talk about Nintendo. Nintendo's Nintendo, but where does this leave Sony?
Price. I think unless Sony absolutely fumbles this opportunity by, making their
Alex,
next
you are allowed to
generation-
say fucks up this opportunity.
No, because I can hear
saying.
someone scurrying around upstairs.
Oh.
I'm trying to be careful.
All right.
Unless
Okay.
PlayStation completely butchers the next generation by having it priced similarly to the PS5 Pro, they have a real opportunity to keep that $500 to $600 US dollar price range, where it's not affordable, but it's the reasonable mid-range option. And maybe there's someone else, maybe a Nintendo can come out with a Switch 2 Lite like they did with the Switch and that's the cheap console. PlayStation is this middle range. And then Valve is kind of in between where Xbox is. Because Xbox is definitely, from the sounds of it, going to be the more expensive machine. Yeah. So Valve, if they could fit in between a PlayStation and an Xbox, but still be a PC, that's a huge advantage for them.
Right. But here's my concern with this. We've seen this in the tech world for years, Phil and I. And I'm sure that you're going to start noticing these trends. And it's once technology gets to a certain point and faster, people start looking at specs and thinking that specs make the tech better. And this is where I think, yes, Sony does have an advantage, but on paper, if you look at their specs might not be the best. So this is where I'm very interested to kind of see how they counter that, because you know that these people on those websites with 3 letters that ends with N and has an I and a G in there, they're going to be bitching about, but there's ray tracing in this valve and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and 3D and accelerators and blah, 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 blah.
That's where Sony just have to take from Nintendo's book. Make it about the games. Make it about the fun. Don't make it about the specs.
What
right?
games? The PS5 has no games.
Well, that's
that's a ball drop, yes. But the ones that they do have are good. You can make the same argument. The Switch 2 has no games right now, right? Like, it's a thin catalog. Now, I have no doubt that they'll march it on out there and make their money. But I think Sony are going after that playbook versus Xbox's, Microsoft's gamble. Microsoft are trying to make the most expensive merge in Blizzard Activision pay off. And that's going to be a really tough task when you spent $69 billion, because that's a big recoup. And now they're gambling it all on this role. I think if Xbox screw this up, they're out.
You know what I fear? And I can see this being their Hail Mary. EA Sports, and just EA in general. What if Microsoft has the balls and the cojones to sign a exclusive contract with EA? The powers that be at EA don't give a shit about anything other than money at this point.
Yeah, EA Sports would sell all of 5 copies because no one buys Xbox games. They just have Game Pass.
But that's the issue. That this right there is the issue. This is the crux of the whole situation.
Well, I think EA makes more bank off of PlayStation because PlayStation has 5 times as many game consoles to sell to compared to Xbox. Like you're talking Europe, Japan, all over the place, and they're the ones that are buying FC 25 and 26 and all these games and all these packs of cards, which are making them money because they love kids that gamble.
I've also heard is that, and this was for indie devs, but this actually applies to all developers. when you port a game to PlayStation, assuming it's, people are interested in it, it gets people's attention, it's going to sell because PlayStation players, by and large, buy games. They don't have, yes, there's PlayStation Plus, but it's not quite the same. PlayStation Plus is almost like a catalog of slightly older games, not the brand new stuff. So PlayStation players actually do buy stuff. They buy DLC. They do all this stuff. If you're porting it to Xbox, you almost have to put it on Game Pass, because if you don't, that game's just not going to be bought at all.
Yep.
And they spent so much on Game Pass, and with the price increases, it's hard to justify not adding it on Game Pass.
Exactly. So you have to be prepared. It's almost like, this is how they say it, is that if you're concerned that your game's not going to get attention, it's not going to sell well, put it on Game Pass, because at least it gets eyes on it. It can get attention through Game Pass, and then on other platforms, people buy the game because of the good press there. If you're confident that the game is going to sell well, you're completely sure, the game's going to sell well, we have no doubts, don't put it on Game Pass, because you're losing money doing that. And honestly, it's not even necessarily worth it to put it on Xbox because of the additional development cost needed, because putting a game on Xbox isn't just the Series X. It's having to make a version for the S. And especially if you're a company that's using Unreal Engine 5 and you're having a hard time making that game run on weaker systems, you might just choose not to, which is what happened with Silent Hill 2 and Black Myth Wukong, where it took them. Silent Hill 2 has just come to Xbox like this past week because of that reason. It's hard you're basically developing for two systems when you're porting it over to Xbox. You're porting basically to Xbox Series X and the Xbox One, because that's what the S is.
Yep.
Also,
sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I just want to say, in terms of the Steam Machine is of a similar power to the PS5, like the base PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why this price point is really important, because if it costs $400 more than a PS5, why wouldn't you just get a PS5? It's the same amount of power, especially if you're already in that ecosystem. There isn't a reason to buy the Steam Machine.
I will say this is a public service announcement for those of you who are in Canada. You can go to the Harvey's app, order a meal deal, and you will get a code emailed to you from Microsoft for 2 weeks free of Game Pass Ultimate.
Damn it. Why aren't there
This is for our
Harveys here?
Ontario listeners.
I thought it was Canadian.
And that's something. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Ontario
It's something that I know that Alex and company miss.
Oh,
we don't have Harveys. We don't have Swiss Chalet. Like, I'm suffering over here.
It expires November 30th. So it's a very short window. You're lucky you don't have Swiss Chalet. I can tell you, they just opened the newest Swiss Chalet in Canada up the street from me. And the amount of times my dad have eaten in there and had the shit rolling out of us for like literally days, because apparently they air fry the chicken now. I don't know how they screw this up.
That's why I eat Swiss Chalet at home. It's delivery, not in restaurant.
It's best to just go get the sauce. That's my little aside. But yeah, my dad and I
That's
don't
your
eat
PSA.
that Swiss Chalet. Yeah, but yeah, the Harveys.
So PSAs:
love the Harveys.
be careful with Swiss Chalet, and wait for Legos for Amazon.
Yeah, and go get your code for free Game Pass.
Honestly, I was looking because at some point I need to beat all Halo games. That's on my dockets in my backlog. But the only Halo game that isn't available on a PC is Halo 5. And despite everything I know about the quality of that game, I still need to beat it at some point.
I don't want to talk about that game very much, but I have played it, and I have played it with a friend of Boris's, Jason, and Jason and I got the most rare achievement that you have to have 2 co-players playing and basically slay 2 end bosses at the same time within 15 seconds of one another. And we got that achievement one night, and it was like the happiest time I've had in video gaming, despite the fact it was Halo 5.
There we go. That's actually hilarious. And Alex does knows Jason.
Oh, does he? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Bramble.
Yep.
No. Paradiso. Paradiso.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't know him. He knows Bramble, though.
Halo head. Yeah, he's a huge Halo head.
Yep.
So,
crazy. So there you go. Alex, what else do you want to talk about when it comes to Valve and the craziness that they're doing and the future of gaming and all that fun stuff?
So the Steam machine is one thing. I think to make a definitive decision on it, we'll have to see the price point, and then we can go into a more further discussion to is that worth it. But they also announced 2 things in the same showcase. It was this like 6 to 8 minute long video where they announced a slew of things. And one of them is actually very, very cool. And it's their Valve VR headset. So Valve has made VR headsets in the past. The Index, which was, I believe, 2020, they released with Half-Life Alyx, the first Half-Life game since Half-Life 2 Episode 2. So it was a big deal, and it was a
they
prequel
can't count
story.
To 3.
Nope, because they counted to 0 that time. It was a prequel to Half-Life 2.
Yep.
But it's widely considered one of the more advanced VR games. Like just the amount of interactability, what you can do in it, the visuals, like it is as advanced a VR game can be at that point when it came out. So the big thing with VR, and I've always liked the idea whenever I've tried it, I've always liked it, but there's a big thing that stops me from getting into VR. The price and just how much of a hassle it is to set up. The Valve Index required a bunch of base stations, a bunch of cameras. You had this big clunky cable coming out of the headset that always needed to be connected to your computer so that it can, stream the visuals right into the headsets for so no streaming. And the controllers needed batteries, which ran out quite often because of how much of a battery hog it was. So it was just kind of an inconvenience. And it's why, as cool as it was, just a lot of people didn't like playing it. It's heavy, it's bulky, all this stuff. It's hard to set up. So Valve listened to the criticism, and they still believe in VR as a medium. So they've done a couple things. One, the controllers are rechargeable. No more of this battery nonsense. You plop them on a charging station. Whenever you need to play them, you pick them up, and they're ready to go for 10 hours, whatever.
So just like Sony.
Yes. This is the big one. So the headset is completely wireless. It's similar to the Meta Quest, where it's almost like this AR experience where it has cameras on the front so it can track the room around you. And it does some sort of pass-through similar to Apple's Vision Pro. But this is the kicker. Valve has made a new technology where it's basically this dongle where it connects directly through a specific Wi-Fi signal that can only communicate to the headset. You plug it into your computer, and it streams whatever game is running on your computer to the headset. So you can play any game you can on PC, not just VR games, and basically play it in this theater mode where it plays on the wall, and it's bigger than a monitor or TV could be. And
so just like Sony.
But it's better because it's not doesn't have
because it doesn't have the cord. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have the cord.
It doesn't have the cord.
It's better.
It's lighter than most VR headsets because there isn't actually much on the VR headset. So it's more comfortable. And the big thing is that the streaming, you don't notice it's streaming because they've actually done something that is very, very cool. And I've never seen done with a VR headset. Basically, it tracks your eye movements. So it tells where you're looking at the screen. And it basically has the highest number of pixels and the highest bit rate at the point that your eye is looking. So the sides are a little blurry, but the max amount of detail possible is right where you're looking. and it switches depending on where you're looking. It's constantly changing, and it's changing so fast that by the time your eyes can adjust to a new location, it's already adjusted for it. So that's
I
how they can maintain a
thought
steady streaming.
I thought that the PlayStation VR 2 does that, not the 1, but the 2 does something similar. I thought. I could be very wrong. Don't get me wrong. I bought a VR 1. I agree. It's clunky. But I can tell you this, after playing it a ton and geeking out on getting it day one, all this stuff, it's not fun VR gaming. It's just an injury waiting to happen. And it's one of those internet devices that loses its appeal very quickly. I don't know anyone who's bought a VR headset that's used it more than, let's say, 2 weeks. And let's say it ended with porn very badly. So it's just this inescapable, I'm curious what happens with this. And then it just becomes very much like, that feels dirty to me now. But I'm hoping there's a future for it because I've always loved the idea of it. I've sold, I don't know how many VR headsets in my life, but it just always came back to it was inaccessible, probably due to the bulk. You are right. So I was even thinking Meta, but I can't give my money to that soulless corporation. So,
well, I think that's exactly it, is that a lot of the things that Meta did with that device are really cool, but it means you're buying a Meta device.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool games on there. Like I heard the Arkham game that they made for it, Arkham Shadows, is very cool. It's got
there's a Star Wars game for it.
Yeah, like I've heard great things about it, but a lot of people don't want to buy that device, or even aside from the, it's Meta, people don't want to buy a device for 2 games, which has been the problem with VR devices in the past, where they're so proprietary.
And yet we all own PS5s.
Yeah, but there's a difference because with PS5 you can play more than 2 games.
Yeah,
4.
I heard
can play 4 whole games.
I heard the 5th one's coming out next year.
Still double than what Switch 2 has. No, yeah, exactly. VR gaming, I don't know. I've never been convinced, never will be convinced. I think it's a fad. No matter how cool they can make the technology, there's just something about it that it's just like I don't want to invest in it just because I fear for how quick they'll stop support for it.
But that's why, at least with this one, even if
it is Valve,
Valve, they've been committed to supporting stuff in the past. But also, even if in the unfortunate scenario they don't make as many games for this as we thought, it's you're basically using it as a massive 82-inch monitor, because that's the size of the screen that you can get it to be, and you can play any normal game on it. Boot up whatever Battlefield 6 or Arc Raiders on your PC, and boom, now you're looking at an 82-inch version of it.
Yeah, you could do that on the VR 1. I used to do that all the time. Just boot up a game, go into PS VR mode, and you could even watch movies in it, and it was bigger than any TV that you could pull up. But unfortunately, just like your ears start to get sweaty in the cups, your eyes start to get sweaty in the cone. And it's a very unsettling feeling because it's an intense amount of eye strain. Like it wears you out. The most that you can game consecutively in VR with these older setups, I'm not going to paint the brush onto this, but with the older setups, the most you could do was 15 minutes. And then you were going to probably either get severe eye fatigue or like that's the end of the porn. I joke, but it's very fatiguing. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So you start to, and as well, you disassociate, and that's probably the worst feeling of all. Is I remember the Arkham game in the first VR one was pretty good at setting a mood. There wasn't a lot of gameplay with it, but it set a mood, and that mood was let's go shit our pants. Because it was just like, it was scary. It was like the Joker and the voice was going around your head, and it was an intense experience. But as fun as it was like, oh, I'm never going to fire that up again.
Well, I think that's the one thing that VR has evolved, and in a good way, is making actual video games, not these
Yeah.
tech demos that look cool and
Yeah.
you boot up for whatever 15 minutes. No, they're actual games. Like Half-Life Alyx is a full 10 to 15-hour campaign. It has a real story, real levels, just like another episode of Half-Life 2 would have. Or Batman Arkham Shadows is a sequel to Arkham Origins. Like it's a full story sequel, and you see the birth of several Batman villains. It has its own story and campaign and levels. Like it is a real video game, and so that's what I hope with making VR more accessible is actually seeing real games come out of it, not
Yeah.
cool tech demos. But again, just like the Steam machine, it's all going to depend on the price, because I think the problem with the Valve Index is that it's $1,000.
Yeah. Again. Right.
That's Valve. Yeah, their price point is going to be an issue for some people, but I think people who are looking for something new, something different, that's where they're going to go. I have this weird feeling about that. A lot of kids are going to be asking their parents for the Valve stuff as opposed to Sony or Xbox or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one.
Now, I'm hearing that there
Go
is.
ahead.
This is probably going to be a really good segue, Boris. I'm sitting on this, but have you heard the latest rumor about what could be announced at the Video Game Awards? What Jeff Keighley is teasing?
Go ahead.
Possibility of Half-Life 3.
Yep.
That's a hot rumor, man.
Valve needs something to launch with the Steam machine. They've always done this. Whenever they launch a new piece of hardware, there's some game that they launch with it. With the Steam Deck, it launched around the same time that Counter-Strike 2 did. With the Valve Index, they launched it and sold people on it with Half-Life Alyx. Like, they're launching it with something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes logical sense in that whatever, but like I don't know. Speaking of the Game Awards, Phil, number 1, you can either watch it on Amazon Prime or Amazon Twitch.
Oh, both platforms are semi-repulsive. I'll be watching it on Prime since I have a Prime membership. And I'm an old man. I can't go to Twitch. What am I gonna do there?
Watch hot tub streamers or something?
Yeah, like Amaranth is on there, isn't she? I don't know. What the hell? I'm just gonna go fire up my, because I do have Stack TV too, so it's not like I don't go into Prime, but sure, Prime. Why not? When's it on?
December 12, 13, 14, something like that. I don't know.
All right, I'll just look for the
11. It's the second Thursday of December.
Yeah, someone's gonna sell somebody out. Oh, Jeff Keighley, hi.
Right?
Give me money.
Did you see the nomination lists?
I've seen a lot of people reject the nomination lists. I haven't been living under a rock. It's like, new indie games. Oh no, we've made tons. We have to bow out. Sorry. And then I think Expedition 33 is nominated for everything, as rightfully as it
pretty
should
much.
Be. So
pretty much
the game that defies every bracket, Expedition 33.
Which is crazy. It just goes to show you, right? And you know what? They're gonna win a lot just because it's the little company that could. And I think everyone wants to write a feel-good story about the gaming industry, and that's a feel-good story.
Well, here's something that's interesting about Expedition 33. And I didn't know about this when we recorded the Uncle and Nephew Geek Out one, talking about the nominations. But Expedition 33 has been nominated in some ways that have been slightly controversial. One of them being that 3 out of the 6 best performances are from Expedition 33. And one of them sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm not going to say which one. If you played the game, you're going to know exactly which one I'm talking about. And number two is that in both categories about best indie game, which is best indie game and best debut indie game, Expedition 33 has been nominated for both, and it's most likely going to win both. Here's the problem, though, and it's called into question: how do you define an indie game? Because if you define it as a game that is, published independently, they get their budget independent from other companies, then Expedition 33 is not an indie game because it was published by Kepler, which has published other fairly big games before. The other thing,
that's their distribution, right?
It also
gets
was
into
not
the weeds. Yeah,
it was not crowdfunded. They got their entire budget from actual investors, like industry investors, the same investors that invest into companies like your EAs, your Ubisofts, all these guys. A lot of these guys came from our ex-Ubisoft devs.
Yep.
That's why Ubisoft is crying their way to the poorhouse.
The other thing is that if you want to define an indie game that it's not funded by a large studio, it is independently funded by itself, then a game like Cyberpunk is more of an indie game than Expedition 33. Because it doesn't have a publisher. It's funded entirely by CDPR.
I'll ask the two of you, riddle me this. Who won Game of the Year last year? It's by a company,
if I remember.
It's by a company that From Software.
Wasn't it PlayStation? Astrobot?
No. The Game of the Year last year was like From Software.
It was Astrobot.
It was Astrobot. That's what I thought. It was like the game.
Okay, well, From Software won an award for an expansion of one of their games.
Yes, it was nominated last year.
Yeah, I just like the nomination process is just give me money. I'll put your name on a list. Like it literally is a paid shill program. Like there's no integrity to this show at all. Not that there ever has been, right? But
no, it's literally become the Golden Globes of video games. You know what they say? You win an Oscar, but you buy a Golden Globe.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour tech demo. Like you're sitting there waiting
with a few commercials.
Yeah,
a few demos.
Like, maybe Half-Life 3 will be on this break. I don't know. Like, unfortunately, it's just a spectacle of, and I don't even know that it's a spectacle. Like it's just become something. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Alex, because I know that you have thoughts on this.
That's very fair. I just think it's interesting. Like, I didn't think about it last time because it's like, yeah, Expedition 33 is kind of the darling to win it. It has a great sob story behind it. A team of independent devs, but screw Silksong. We don't really care about that one.
Yeah.
Except that one was actually a fully independent game made by 3 primary developers.
Yeah. And that one, is being long sought after, and like bless them for not overcharging on it. Like they could have gone to town on that, and they're like, oh, $20. Hey. Like,
yeah.
Damn. You came to play today.
The other thing that I love Expedition 33, and I would still probably say at this point, it is probably my game of the year. But I think it's really funny, the narrative around this game, that like this game saved RPGs. Like what are we doing? No. Come on.
Yeah. Again,
I think it just made RPGs a little more vogue. Right?
This
like
is
they
just this year, another game of the year nominee is another RPG. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that's an RPG ass RPG.
Like I think it's holding it up to the Final Fantasy failures.
Yeah,
I think that's really the industry bench. And when a game out Final Fantasy, then that got noticed. It's like, oh, so it isn't just that brand that makes it. This can be done by other companies too, and done successfully. Right. And then you have different levels of RPG. I don't fight you on that, because there are some hardcore RPG fans.
And it was just like, I was only half joking when I said, right, like they are looking for a feel good story in the gaming industry, and I do think that Expedition 33 is that, because as you know, companies are making major delays, going bankrupt, being bought out by the Saudis, union busting, etc., etc., etc. Expedition 33 is a little game that everyone loves,
For sure.
and that's all. Circle jerk to it. Like, that's at the end of the day, that's what's going on with that game.
Like, I don't want to take away from its
No, and
I think it's a great game.
We're not trying to be haters. We're not trying to hate the game. The three of us love the game.
We're not gatekeeping.
But we're not gatekeeping. But we've been around long enough, Alex included, that we know how these companies work.
Yeah, let's be fair to other games as well. I think what's unfortunately going to happen is that there's other great games that have come out this year that are going to be completely overshadowed, because it does seem like the Game Awards really wants this game to be the take it all game. Which, you know, I have my qualms about it, but at the end of the day, it's a great game. But I think it's funny because earlier today, as I was waiting for something, I saw a post on, I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah.
That was basically talking about how Expedition 33 is a game that roughly, if you're just doing the story, will take you around 30 hours. So not short, but not long by any means. And if you want to complete it, will take around 60, which for most games is nothing. Like most games now to complete can take, you know, upwards of 100 hours. And how having a focused game that's focused on its narrative and its gameplay design is really important and very lacking in today's games. And I was like, oh, that's a good tweet. I'm gonna like that. Immediately scroll to the next tweet where Ubisoft announces a collaboration with Attack on Titan and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like what? Where they're adding like a story thing that connects to Attack on Titan. Like, what are we doing? Like, and it feels like, man, this couldn't have been timed any better.
Yeah, and that's the issue. I'm like, look at the death of Destiny 2 that's occurring right before our eyes right now. Talk about a grindy, hollow game now. Compared, you know what I mean? Like the narratives and all that. Now they're just shilling out Star Wars skins. It really is, and that's all about monetization, right? Like that's all about the death of the you know, the campaigns and whatnot, and just going to this paid as a service model that Boris and I'm sure Alex, you complain about it too. We've been knackering on for years that games as a service is going to blow up in the industry's face. It's going to finally backfire, but as long as Fortnite keeps on showing everybody that the model works for them and they just keep on adapting, man, they just think, oh, we're just going to get our cookies and milk at some point. We
Games
just
as
keep
a
on
service,
trying.
It's such a slippery slope, because I think I rarely defend Fortnite for its business practices, especially the way it kind of just gets kids to spend money is pretty bad.
Yep.
But if you're going to do games as a service, just have it be cosmetics, because cosmetics you can live without, which is something I appreciate about something like Fortnite. And recently I bought Arc Raiders. I've been playing it, been having a great time. Same thing. There's an in-game currency. You buy cosmetics with it. Doesn't affect loot or anything like that. Just cosmetic. And you can earn this currency in game by just playing it. Or if you want to and you're impatient, you can buy it for whatever. But it's purely cosmetic. It is not going to affect the game. My problem with games like Destiny or even Borderlands, these looter shooters, is that it directly affects gameplay, because money buys better weapons. And especially in an online game where, you know, you're even with Destiny, you know, you're playing with friends, you want to do your next raid with friends. Well, you need to be at a certain level. You need to have a certain rarity of weapon. It needs to be able to do a certain amount of damage. You fork over like $20 to get that weapon. It's horrible.
I don't think Borderlands has that dynamic at this point.
At this point, okay, I can't speak for Borderlands 4, but I remember Borderlands 2 pre-sequel. Can't remember which one. You could 100% do that.
Okay.
The main ones haven't. 3 did. 3 kind of felt like that.
I can confess that I would never bend the knee on crap like that in that series of games because the loot changes too quick. But I have been guilty in the past. I've done it in the Division, right? Where it's like cosmetics and, I'll just put $10 down and get that hat.
With games as a service, you got the Fortnites and you got the Destinies, or you can get the Roblox with the Diddlers. Which would you rather have?
Take my money now.
Right? Right? Like that's the issue with games as a service is like it becomes that. You can either have, just the worst of the worst, or you can have kids learning how to gamble at the age of 9.
You either become a diddled or live long enough to see yourself become poor.
I'm going to get Messi on my team.
Yep. Right? Like it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Black Friday is this week. Happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners. I've been scrolling a little bit here and there. Also, before we get to that, Far Cry TV show, Rob Mack starring in it, and a showrunner in it, FX.
Nice.
Just announced like an hour ago. So that's
Which means
thing.
that we'll see it in 17 years.
Exactly. And be canceled after 1.5 seasons.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that Netflix Assassin's Creed show. It was announced like a million years ago.
Right?
I think they canceled it.
Did they? Damn.
I thought they might have, but Netflix. I could be wrong. It could just be cooking on the low.
Yep. So Black Friday. Let's see what's going on. I'm seeing, hold on. I did see this, and I hate for our podcast listeners. If you're watching on YouTube, remember we are on YouTube. It's Canon Podcast, and then you can see exactly what is going on. So let me close that. The GeForce RTX 5080 graphics card just dropped below MSRP for Black Friday. GeForce RTX 5080 16 gigs for $929.
Yeah, if you're looking to get a graphics card, you've been looking to upgrade, or just looking to build based on a previous machine, assuming you're not buying RAM, it's a good time, because I was looking earlier. Graphics cards in general, not just the upper echelon, but also kind of the mid tier and kind of the more budget tier, they're all on sale and they're all a pretty good price.
Awesome.
Yeah. Headsets.
All right.
You can save 56% on headsets and whatnot. If that is what you are looking for, you got anything for us there, Phil?
I was just going to read the script, but hey, if you want to go to our website, you go to www.aplusproductions.com. You can find us on Instagram, Twitch, or I guess Twitch, X, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere. I don't know what you want to call it, you kids. At It's Canon Podcast. You can email us at show@itscanonpodcast.com. You can subscribe via anywhere you get podcasts, really, because we're there. It's annoying, but we are. And if you like what you hear, please tell a friend, tell more friends, tell your family, and listen in to our regular show.
Vacuums, espresso machines.
Oh, we're covering the gambit.
I also saw that on Steam, the Steam Deck is on a 20% discount. So in Canada, it went from $4.99 to $3.99.
Ooh.
That's, God damn it. No, Boris. No, you will not buy anything new.
Control.
This year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. No.
The Lenovo Legion OS, the Steam OS variant on Best Buy is also on sale. It's $7.99 here in Canada. I believe it's normally $1,100. So there's also that.
So, this is right before we go, I do want to quickly talk about this. And a lot of retailers, I think, have a lot of pressure to actually give you good deals because of people not wanting to spend money right now, and tightening their purses because of what's happening around the world and the world economy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a feeling that this year we might see better deals than we have typically. And here in Canada, because we got Black Friday, obviously we got Cyber Monday, and then heading into the Christmas, we have Boxing Day. So yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens, but I have no need for anything.
Same here.
Yeah.
Except for computer parts.
I want to use the stuff I got.
February.
Yeah, I want to use the stuff I got, not buy more.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here, part of the show. And thank you to our awesome listeners. Whether this is the first episode or the 100th episode, we thank you so much. And you have been listening to the It's Canon podcast, the show where we talk about all things geek, all things fandom, all things Lego, video games, comics. Actually, next time that we have a discussion, I'm going to add you to something, and we're going to read the Absolute DC series. We're going to talk about some comic books next time.
Woohoo!
Because I started that today. I have a little bit of time off. Have a lot of thoughts on that already, especially the Superman series. But we're going to be talking about that on the next episode of the It's Canon podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, goodbye.